Why did oligarchs rapidly gain wealth after communist economic reforms? Imagine a sudden flood of wealth transforming a small group of people into billionaires overnight. That's what happened to many oligarchs after communist economic reforms. When the Soviet Union and other communist countries started changing their economies in the late 1980s and early 1990s, the system was in chaos. The government moved away from strict state control and introduced privatization, allowing private ownership of businesses and property. But this shift was not carefully managed. Instead, it created a perfect storm for insiders to grab assets at very low prices. During communism, the government owned everything and wealth was shared more equally. The economy was planned, and there was little room for individual wealth accumulation. But when reforms began, the old rules no longer applied. The government needed money fast, so it sold off state-owned companies through auctions. These auctions were often rigged, with insiders and former Communist Party officials getting the best deals. They bought valuable factories, banks, and natural resources for a fraction of their worth. This process is called privatization, but it was often unfair and corrupt. Another factor was the loans for share scheme. The government needed funds and allowed a small group of insiders to buy shares in major companies with loans. When inflation soared in the early 1990s, the money they borrowed became worth less and less. They could pay back their loans with money that had lost much of its value, making their initial investments even more profitable. These insiders, many of whom were former officials or connected to the government, used their control over industries to amass enormous wealth quickly. At the same time, the economy was unstable. Hyperinflation made prices skyrocket and created opportunities for traders to buy cheap goods domestically and sell them abroad at high prices. This kind of arbitrage allowed some to make huge profits in a short time. Many of these new wealthy individuals had already been involved in black market activities or risky trading during the late 1980s. After privatization, they expanded into banking, real estate, and heavy industries, consolidating their power. This rapid accumulation of wealth was a stark contrast to the ideals of socialism, which aimed for equality and shared prosperity. Instead, the transition turned into a process where a small group of insiders gained control of the economy and became extremely rich. The system was built on loopholes, insider deals, and weak legal protections, which allowed these individuals to turn their initial gains into vast fortunes. So, the main reason why oligarchs became so wealthy so quickly was that the transition from communism to capitalism was rushed and poorly regulated. It gave insiders the chance to buy assets cheaply, exploit economic chaos, and use their political connections to dominate key industries. This process was deeply linked to the legacy of the communist system and the political upheaval during the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc.